Good morning and good evening to everyone. Thank you for making time to join in this class. This will be our last Bodhicharyavatara class for the year of 2021. Before I forget, I want to share with everyone that this Friday, it will be Friday in the Western Hemisphere, but Saturday, January 1st, for those of you in Asia. But this Friday at 8 o'clock, we are going to do a practice session. We will live stream and also Zoom from our new location, the Urban Dharma new location. So if you want to join us, you can join us on Facebook live stream or also on Zoom. If anyone has that Zoom information, maybe Omar has, maybe Jasper, please share it with the chat in the chat area, the Zoom ID and password for this Friday. Let's see what was shared. Okay, please don't get confused. What Jasper shared is a little confusing. Let me see. Yeah. He gave the whole message from a different program. People get easily confused. Don't do that. The Zoom information is the one. Okay. I just shared specifically just the Zoom information. So in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, when we come towards the end of a year, there's more focus on doing something as we come towards the end of the year than there is about, like in the West, the modern, also now everywhere in the world, is making like New Year resolutions, right? Oh, this year I don't want to eat so much sugar. This year I don't want to eat drink so much coffee. This year I'm going to lose, 20 pounds. This year I'm going to run more. I'm going to play more, whatever. So instead of resolutions, the focus is more on cleaning out that which we don't need anymore, that which has been collecting and causing problems in our lives, and purifying, cleaning, removing those things before we go into the new year. So this Friday evening program will be a program on a simple recitation of the Vajrasattva 100 syllable mantra. It will begin again at 8. It will begin at 8 p.m. New York time. 8 p.m. New York time. Just like this class, but this class is 8 a.m. On this Friday, we'll begin 8 p.m., which means for Malaysia, Singapore, it's 9 a.m. New Year's Day for you guys. It will just be a simple recitation of Vajrasattva 100 syllable mantra. In fact, we will probably be playing Khenchen Rinpoche's recitation of the 100 syllable mantra so that we can all silently meditate and listen to the sound and to listen deeply. Sometimes, we mantra recitation experts, we have trained our mouths to blah, 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 blah. Then our mind wander all over the place. So sometimes it's good to just listen, and especially listening to Khenchen Rinpoche chanting the 100 syllable mantra, then we can focus on the visualization of purifying, removing all the negativity, negative karma, grudges, things that we get stuck in 2021. All as much as possible, we visualize cleansing. So we have done this every year at our center, Urban Dharma, in one of the small kind of ritual that we do. If you want to do this, you can do this at home yourself. It's to prepare a few slips, small strips of paper, and also have a pen. Then during this whole time, we will practice for an hour and a half. During this whole time, as you are meditating, as you're purifying, if there is a particular situation, a particular issue, a particular grudge, that you're holding on to, something you cannot let go, but is causing a lot of pain and suffering to yourself and others, you can write on that slip of paper just one word that represents that situation. Maybe the name of the person that you're in conflict with. Maybe your own internal conflict. Just a word. You don't have to write an essay. Just a strip of paper. Write it. So you sort of give it a form. You give it a form. So write it and then put it on the table. And then at the end of the session, just burn that. Burn that. Those slips of paper. Including for other people if you know they're having some struggles, some difficulties. You can just write. Actually, exactly what you write is not so important. It's in the act of writing that out and that you turn your attention to that situation and you say, now I'm doing my best to purify this, leave this in the old year as I move into the new year, 2022. So for those of you who will be joining us in Asia, in case you're worried, you're like, oh, wait, this is already 2022. Then it's okay. You can send it to those of us who are still stuck in 2021. There's a whole bunch of us are still in 2021. So you can think, I'm sending this to the West where they are still in 2021, and then it can stay there. Also, just a few strips of paper, okay? Don't bring a whole roll of toilet paper and write out all your grievances, It's a fire hazard to burn that. But joking aside, one of our members participating in this study just recently shared with me how they found that this purification practice at the end of the year is very meaningful because they have a situation and last year, I participated for the first time in this practice, in this purification at the end of the year. And that particular situation over this last year seemed to have slowly disappeared. Particular difficult situation, and just this person is, making the connection in their mind. Oh, this was something that I specifically brought to mind at the end of last year to purify. And so, these are the types of interdependencies that we can rely on, that we can engage in. And know that, of course, we're not talking about magic here. And really, the operative word is interdependence. And a lot of times, interdependences happen in very subtle ways. I have in the past said, in my own experience, the practice of Dharma, the effect of practicing Dharma comes in the same way as taking traditional medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, traditional Tibetan medicine, which is that unlike Western medicine, which is very strong, very immediate. Traditional Chinese medicine, Tibetan medicine, Ayurveda, it's very subtle. Slowly, and then suddenly you wake up one day and that situation has disappeared. So, at least in my own experience, the effects of Dharma practice is often like that. So, the issue with that, of course, with us modern people, where everything is instant, is that we lose faith, we lose confidence. We think, oh no, it's not doing anything. Because we're so used to now, oh, I have a headache, take a couple of pills, half an hour, 15 minutes, it's gone. If it is not gone, take 2 more, it will be gone. But of course, we know, what's simply gone are the symptoms. The underlying is not gone. But TCM, Tibetan medicine, Ayurveda, it seeks to uproot from the root. Slowly. Anyways, so diligence, slow and steady. Yeah? So anyway, this is going to be this Friday. Oh, I see Linda. So Wisconsin time is 7 p.m. So let us start with the usual opening recitations. Dhamma dhamma jibe dhanu bar jibe ge garba dhan tanje gimbe bardu chubra jeba tham jege se jebe manam kadang nyambe senjen tham je dewa dhan den dunya dhan de nudu lana me bhayang dhabra zube Chanju Rinpoche Dobra Je Dala Dava Jepe Da Dava Jepe Ge Tabada Tamje Kempe Bardu Chopra Jeba Tam Jegi Se Jebe Nanam Kada Nyambe Senjen Tamje Deva Dan Ben Dunya Dande Nudu Lana Nepayang Tambra Zobe Chanju Rinpoche Toba Je Nava Tava Jebe Dan Hoba Jebe Ge Tarpa Dan Tamje Gembe Bardu Joba Jeba Tam Jege Zur Jebe Manam Kadang Yampe Senjen Tamje Dewa Dan Den Dunya Dan De Nudu Lana Nebhaya Yabra Sube Chanju Rinpoche Soba Je De Sama Juji Badu Luna Yizun Dewa Lago Mashi Badu Luna Yizun Dewa Lago Du Bring Tsunte Man Santa Samji Bardu Luma Yishun Yevala Sanji Chodan Suji Jonam La Chanchu Bardu Dane Kyabse Je Dagi Jinsu Gibe Sonam Ki Jola Pencher Sanje Drupa Sanje Jodan Sogi Chonam Chancho Bardu Dane Kyamse Je Dagi Jinsu Gibe Sonam Ki Jola Pencher Sanje Drupa Sanje Jodan Sogi Chonam Chancho Bardu Dane Kyamse Je Dagi Jinsu Gibe Sonam Ki Rola Penjir Sanje Dubra Manam Kadan Yampe Sanchen Tamche Deva Dhan Teve Kindan Dampa Juji Dunyao Dang Dunyao Gi Kyudan Drava Juji Dunyao Mepe Deva Dame Drava Juji Nirin Chadan Nidan Prave Tan Yola Nebra Kyuje Manam Kadan Yampe Senchen Tamje Deva Dan Dewe Gundan Dempra Kyuje Dunya Dan Dunya Gi Kyudan Drava Kyuje Dunya Mepe Deva Dame Deva Kyuje Nirin Chadan Nidan Prave Tanya La Nebra Kyuje Manam Kadan Yampe Senchen Tamje Deva Dan Deve Gindan Dembra Kyuje Dunyao dang, dunyao di, judan, dewa, di, ji, dunyao nebe, dewa, dang, ni, dewa, di, ji, nidin, chadan, nidan, dewa, dang, yang, la, neba, ji, In all the worlds of the 10 directions, recite Tathagatas of the 3 times before each of you, lions among humans. I prostrate joyfully with body, speech, and mind. By the power of this aspiration to noble deeds, all conquerors appear vividly in my mind, with as many bodies as there are atoms in all lands. I prostrate to all you conquerors. In each atom are Buddhas numberless as atoms, all in the midst of the heirs of the Buddhas. Thus I conceive of the Dharma Dhatu as completely filled with you conquerors in this way, with infinite oceans of praise and oceans of diverse melodies. I sing the excellent qualities of all you conquerors, and praise all of you gone to bliss with the best flowers and best garlands, best music, ointments, and excellent parasols, finest lamps, and superior incense. I offer to you conquerors with excellent garments and best fragrances and sandalwood powder. Keep high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings perfectly arranged. I offer to you conquerors these vast and unequal offerings to each and every one of you conquerors. With the power of conviction and noble deeds, I prostrate and offer to all you conquerors all the harmful deeds that I have done with my body, speech, and mind under the power of desire, hatred, and ignorance. I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in all the meritorious deeds of all conquerors in the 10 directions and the heirs of the Buddhas. Solitary realizes here is still in training and beyond, and all wandering beings. You who are lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who have unobstructedly attained Buddhahood through the stages of Bodhi, you who are my protectors, please turn the unexhaled wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly beseech you who may intend to manifest final nirvana. Please remain for as many eons as there are atoms in the world for the happiness and well-being of all wandering beings. Whatever slight virtue that may have been gathered through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching, I now dedicate to complete bodhi. This ground sprinkled with scented waters and strewn with flowers, adorned with the supreme mountain called continent, sun, and moon. I hold in mind as a Buddha land and offer it. May all wandering beings experience such a pure land. To the Gurus who possess the 3 kayas, I offer the outer, inner, secret, and thusness offerings. With my body, wealth, and all phenomenal existence, please grant the unsurpassed supreme attainment. Whatever slight virtue I may have gathered through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and beseeching, I now dedicate it all to complete awakening. Om Guru Devata Kinira Namandala Pratitya Soha. Please turn the wheel of Dharma of the greater, lesser, and common vehicles in accordance with the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. Namo Guru Bodhicharyavatara DEC Jinjilo shi tu je je ne 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 ba se ne gan se de 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 jinjilo hong jin ne jin ne jin sa ba ma de sa ba ba la ye jin je de ne de ne ba ma jin ne she she ba de de kan de na ba ba ke ke je se da de de jinjilo je she she so de de ba ma se de hong je de ne de ba ba ne de su san je kun de ne ne an se jo kun mo su tom se ba za we la me sha la so la So generally, when we're doing practice, the mind should be focused. But during this recitation, my mind was wandering. Luckily, this wandering is not too non-virtuous. Maybe it's virtuous, but wandering, of course, is not virtuous. But where it wandered to is, I think this Saturday, New Year's Day, we should meet Bodhicharyavatara. What better way to start the new year? So we will have class this Saturday, Bodhicharyavatara, same time. So it will be Saturday morning for those of you in the West, Saturday evening for those of you in Asia. Yeah, so we will have also Shantideva class on Saturday. I will go to the new place and also live stream from there. Also, if someone can find the Facebook event page for this endings and beginnings, the Vajrasattva for New Year's Eve, if you can share it in the chat, that would be good, so that other people who use Facebook in this group, you can click that and then share that, in case there are people that who want to join, and they can all join. So anyway, we are now at verse 140, chapter 8. 40 and chapter 8. Yes, Omar just shared that, so if you want to click and open that. So here, Shantideva begins the section where he will take us through what I have called, thought experiments. Which is, what is this experiment? So the thought experiment is, so this is the section, right, where he says we have to exchange self and other. And so before, I also mentioned that, what is this exchanging self with other? I think in terms that we can all start with, in terms that we can all understand, it's basically saying, put yourself in the other person's situation. put yourself in the other person's shoes until, as we say, an expression in English, we say, until you have walked in the other person's shoe for some distance, you really don't understand other people's sufferings. So, exchanging self with other, of course, ultimately, the practice of exchanging self with other means, if it means that I will sacrifice my life in order to preserve the life of the other, I am willing to do it. That is like very, very high, exchanging self with other. But that very high level of exchanging self with other doesn't happen just overnight. So we have to begin at a place that we know how to begin, that we can do, which is really training ourselves to put ourselves in the other person's situation. So here, this thought experiment here is actually starting us from there. So then, with regards to there, 140 think, then for that purpose, you can think of all others as falling into three groups. Those that we think are better than us, for whatever reasons, those whom we think are equal to us, and those whom we think are inferior to us, for whatever reasons. You can divide all other beings into these three groups. Then 140 says, he says, then without another thought, immerse yourself in envy or jealousy, pride and rivalry. Yeah, so here Shantideva is showing how, normally any of the afflictive emotions we don't want to encourage, of course. But now here he's showing a method of how, if we can skillfully work with those afflictive emotions that we already have, if we can skillfully work with them, then they can become a means of destroying themselves. They can become part of the strategy to destroy them. So particularly here, envy or jealousy, pride, and rivalry, competition, competitive mind. Yeah, so remember there are three groups, right? Those who are lesser than us, those who are higher than us, and those who are equal to us. And these three groups is talking about our perception, you know. It's not talking about in reality, yes, they are lesser than us, they are higher than us, they're equal to us. They're talking, is working with our own kind of confused labels. Whether we want to admit it or not, we walk around, you know, with these three, that's how we categorize people that we meet, people that we interact with, people that even we live with, lower than us, higher than us, equal to us. So with regards to these three groups, he says particularly now focus on those that are lower than us, the afflictive emotion of envy or jealousy. You bring that in. Then those that are higher than us, you work now with the afflictive emotion of pride. Those who are equal to us, you work with the afflictive emotion of competitiveness, of rivalry. So the section, the following verses, 141 to 146, Khenpo Kumpel, very helpful, identifies as the section that we now train with those who we habitually think is lower than us, and we work with this afflictive emotion of pride, of jealousy or envy. Mm. So how does this work? Okay, this takes a little bit of kind of explaining. Sometimes in this section, I also get confused, like, wait, what is going on? So basically, this is how it works. I think, again, my own experience, it might be useful if you have a photo of yourself. Mm. A photo of yourself that maybe people have said, oh, you look so good there. Oh, you look so happy there. Oh, you look so successful there. So you take a photo of yourself, and you look at it, okay? Yeah? I'm just suggesting how to bring like some special effects to this first one, and the second and the third too. Uh, so you are exchanging. So what you're doing now is you are looking at a picture of you, and then you are taking on. You're exchanging so that you are the one that is inferior. Yeah, so maybe even if you have two pictures, a picture of you successful, people say, oh, so handsome, so beautiful, so successful, so confident, so strong, a picture. Then if you have a picture of someone that you habitually think, this person is useless, this person has no ambition, this person is a failure, whatever, right? You take these two pictures. Now you think, I am this person. I'm Bob, whoever Bob is, right? Or Juan, yeah? I'm Bob or Juan, okay? You think this. Then you look over here and you say, oh, Hun, okay? So this is how you start. Yeah, so it's a kind of role playing. Yeah, you're exchanging roles, so to say. Now, for this to work, right, one part of your mind, you remember who you are, but temporarily, right, you take on the position and the mindset of those that you look down on. Okay, so now, as the person that you look down on, you start in 141. He's the center of attention. And now I'm reading from Shantideva 141. He's the center of attention. And so now, whoever you look down on is looking at you. So, like in my imaginary Bob looking at Hun, he's the center of attention. I'm nothing. And unlike him, I'm poor without possessions. Here, 141 says that. Everyone looks up to him, and people despise me. all goes well for him. For me, there's only bitterness. So what's going on here, right, is Shantideva wants you to feel the suffering and the frustration of that person that you habitually look down on. When we look down on someone, we don't consider, what feelings they have. So now you are taking on that person's feelings, and that person now specifically is looking at you and having these thoughts as expressed in 141 and also 142. And then continuing with 142, right? You're still, right, looking at you, and you're the inferior person that you, then again, you're saying, 142, all I have is sweat and drudgery. All I have is, meaningless things that I do. I work hard, while he's there sitting at his ease. Han doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, I have to work. I have to do meaningless things just to make ends meet. But this person, this Han, just sitting around. He's great and respected in the world. But I'm the underdog. A well-known nobody. It's the translation here says, meaning I'm nobody. So you're starting. So you want to, feel this person's feelings, like it's so unfair. Then 143, 144, the tone changes. There are some like doubts, some debates. Yeah. So what's going on in 143 is, then again, this person who is lower, he says, what? A nobody without distinction? Now thinking of himself. But you, right? You are now taking the position of like Bob. What? A nobody without distinction? Not true. I do have some good qualities. Compared to some, he is lower. Han, right? Han that I feel jealous towards. Compared to some, he's not that great. And then me, compared to some, I'm doing pretty good. Then 144. So 143 first. So 143, right? So there are moments, right? Even though Bob feels little, feels frustrated, feels no one appreciates, but there are some moments where he feels, this Han, he's not that great. I mean, there are other people greater than him, and me, I'm not that pitiful. Compared to some, I'm doing much better. So this is helping us see, that people who we think are lower than us, have this mixed bag of feelings and attitudes. In other words, just like you and me, just like myself. Then in the next verse, 144, a little bit of a shift again. 143, Bob is feeling like, well, I'm not doing so bad compared to Han. But now 144, Bob again is feeling down. My discipline, my understanding have declined. I am helpless, ruled by my defilements. Then Bob is now looking at Han and say, as much as he's able, he should cure me. He should help me. And I will be submissive even to his punishments if he would help me. If Han would help me. So, of course, in this context, right, Shantideva is talking to his fellow monks, not just to general public. So 144 kind of shows that. And so my discipline, meaning like, this Bob, who is also a monk, inferior, is saying, my discipline and my understanding have declined, meaning feeling bad about those feelings of jealousy towards Han, this great, this great teacher, this prominent figure in our spiritual community, blah, blah, blah. So now Bob is feeling, I'm helpless. I'm ruled by my defilements. Look, So then Han, this great teacher, he should help me as much as possible. And if he does that, I will even take punishments from him. But 145 says, but then actually, he doesn't do that. He doesn't help me. So then what right does he have, 145, to belittle me? And then what use then are these qualities that he has that I am jealous about? These so-called qualities that he has. What's the point of being jealous towards what he has? 145. Then 146 is the end of this section. And in 146 is sort of like a warning to Han, which is indifferent to the plight of living beings who thread on the brink of evil destinies. He makes an outward show of virtues, and he even wants to compete with the real sages. So then at this point in this thought experiment, right, you're supposed to go, oh, yeah, hun, watch out, you're behaving like this. So in this experiment, not only do you feel what Bob feels and have sympathy towards his situation, you also can see now, the way I behave towards Bob. Even if I don't think I'm doing this, in fact, I'm walking around feeling superior, but in fact, this is danger to myself. This is harming myself. Okay, so what do you think? Yeah, can you see what's going on in this section? And the next section and next section is the same. Right? You're switching back and forth, yeah? Exchanging self with other. You're switching back and forth. You're putting yourself in the other person's position. But then you also, of course, know that you're just pretending to be in the other person's position. Then you are also in your position. Then you begin to see, a fuller picture of what is going on. So yeah, we can have a little clarification or discussion. Yeah, any thoughts? Any? To me, this really kind of this method really helps us to see, I am the abused and I'm the abuser. I'm the victim and I'm the victimizer. Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, has a piece that he wrote, a poetry, call me by my true names. If you look up on Google, call me by my true names. So there he was writing during the Vietnam War and the refugees and the plight of everyone. And it shows, that we are everyone, Overall, this whole section here, for me, what Shantideva is saying is, even though we call it exchanging self with other, when we really, truly, deeply understand what is the reality of what is going on, then we are all of this. Not necessarily in some mystical way, we're all one, Sometimes that's a little too, like, oh, we're all one, But in a way that for me really helps me to relate better with others is to see that, the things that I admire, the things that I envy, they're all present in me, they're all present in others. And this recognition becomes the spark or the basis for developing, for giving rise to genuine compassion, not emotional romanticism. Compassion for all beings, this, that. But this is a genuine way of giving rise, because we cannot judge others. As Jesus said, judge not that you are not being judged.
Hello, Dr. Lai. Can you repeat that sentence again? I missed that. This whole part.
Yes. So this is the spark, this kind of an understanding that we are both the victim and the victimizer, the abused and the abuser, that we have all of this in us. Recognizing this is what becomes a genuine way to give rise to the kind of compassion that the Buddha is teaching. The essence of the Bodhisattva way is based on seeing this. This is the wisdom side, and then the corresponding compassion that comes up. It's not a romanticized type of compassion. Oh, I'm going to save all beings. I'm going to. It comes from this kind of understanding, and then also specifically, when we understand this, then we don't judge others. We stop because we see that we are like that as well, you know. So like I quote, you know, as Jesus says, you know, judge not that you are not judged. If you want to judge, then you will be judged, because we all have this. We all have all these virtues and faults. And until we are Buddhists, you know, we are all in this same situation. So let's take a short break.
Om Wage Jware Mum 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 Wage Jware Om Wage Jware Mum 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 Wage Jware 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 Mum 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 Wage Jware Wage
So let's see any questions or comments that developed during our break. No? Okay. So let's continue. So I noticed there are some comments in the chat. So in case you didn't get a chance to look at that, some of our members, participants have shared some of their thoughts about this. So do take a moment to look at that, and thank you for sharing. It's always very helpful. So this next section is with the second group, which is with those that we feel that we are equal. So then the main afflictive emotion that we have to work through, to deal with, to purify, to let go of, is rivalry or competitiveness. By the way, I'm thinking, for some of us, these three sections we can work with our siblings, our brothers and sisters, if you have a big family, especially, and a big complicated family. Oh, these three groups, Oh, yes. Yeah, so 147. That I might excel, outstripping him, becoming better than him. Him, regarded as my peer and equal. In contest, I will certainly secure my fame and fortune, public renown. So with someone who we feel equal with. So now, again, remember, you're supposed to take the position of the other person. In this case, the other person and you are equal, so the identity is a little bit unclear, right? In the first case, because there's this separation of superior and inferior, and you take on, you exchange so that you become the inferior and you're looking at your old self, or in my case, Han, as superior, and you engage in that thought experiment of the heart. Now here, you are still doing the exchange, but it's not so obvious. So here a little bit more subtle, but you should still take the exchange and say, okay, now you have Jane. First it was Bob, now Jane. Oh, I'm equal with Jane. Okay, now you take the position of Jane. And Jane says, that I might excel and outstrip Han. Han that everyone regards as my equal, as my peer. So I will, in all things that I compete with him. He's teaching at this Dharma center, I will get invited to a bigger Dharma center. Oh, he has, 40 people in his Zoom class, I am going to have 45. Yeah, so that, so you're supposed to feel now this way. 147. By every means, 148, I will advertise my gifts to the world. And so now it's a lot easier to advertise, Instagram, Facebook, even now, if you have younger people to help you, you make TikTok videos, ensuring that his qualities remain unknown and ignored by everyone. So Jane is saying, I'll make sure that my news get followed more. So Hans' qualities will remain unknown. Well, 149, my faults I will hide, dissimulate, minimize. For I and not he will be the object of devotion. I, not he, will gain possessions and renown, fame, good name. I will be the center of attention. 150, I will take such satisfaction in his evil deeds and degradation. If somebody tells us, I don't like this Han, he's not a good teacher, he's not a good person. And we secretly, see, I knew all along, it's just he's pretending. All these people who are fooled, by the way he's pretending, So then 150, I will render him despicable, the butt and laughing stock of everyone. Now, coming back to Han and Jane, so now, yeah, why should I take on, exchange, and become Jane? And these words here, because this is in fact what Han is doing, me. But I will never admit it to myself that I am actually doing all these things. I will advertise my gifts. I'm going to become better. I'll make sure nobody knows them and their qualities, Jane's qualities. I even rejoice when Jane's bad news travel around. But you see, if I don't take Jane's position and kind of direct it at Han, I will never even think that I'm such a despicable person, that I'm so competitive. See, most of us are not aware of how competitive we are with those who are equal with us. How much rivalry actually exists. And you're thinking, oh, no. I'm not advertising their negative actions. They themselves have done these negative actions. I'm just letting the truth be known. You see, we tend to think like this. Oh, no, I'm not advertising myself in competition with Jane. I'm just wanting to make sure that more people know that Dharma is available. Oh, and I just happen to be the one making Dharma available. And see, if we don't take Jane's position, we think, what we do is blameless. But once we take Jane's position and then we will see, oh my gosh, I behave like Jane supposedly is behaving now. Yeah, so we, like, I don't know about you, but myself, how many times in a day I would go, why are people so unreasonable? And I would go, why are people so inconsiderate? And I will go, why are people so illogical? Of course, when I say people, I don't mean myself. It's people over there. So we never consider, that we are unreasonable. We are illogical. We are inconsiderate. Again, until we put ourselves in other people's shoes, until we are able to see the world through other people's eyes, then we habitually think, everybody is wrong, I'm right. Everybody is mistaken, I'm not mistaken. Everybody is crazy, I'm not. So through this kind of exercise, and then the next one, which we will cover in the new year, the next section. So here he is appealing to like our emotions. But already what Shantideva is doing, I feel, is he's already planting a seed for a fuller discussion and teaching, a fuller teaching in chapter 9 on wisdom. Because here he has already planted a seed for us to see. What is subject, what is object? Who is doer and who is being done? We are beginning to see the illusory nature of subject and object. We're beginning to be introduced to. The illusory doesn't mean non-existent. Another word for illusory is interdependent nature of subject and object. Subject, the one who feels pride. Object, the one who is being belittled. Subject, the one who feels jealousy. Object, the one who feels, who is being admired. Here, Shantideva, in getting us to switch back and forth between these two, he's showing us the interdependent nature of experiences, of emotions, more fully discussed in chapter 9, more fully taught in chapter 9.
Sorry, Dr. Lai. The showing the interdependence of
Interdependent nature of experiences, and therefore illusory nature of experiences. And therefore, why are we giving so much power to all this, temporary interdependent arising and ceasing? And then create so much suffering for ourselves, create so much suffering for other people. So today we will stop here. So this month, our classes, Tuesday, Saturday, it's a little bit unclear when we will meet or not meet, because I am going to be out of town. And part of it is I need to figure out where I'm going to, whether the internet is strong enough for me to do class or not. And so basically I'm planning to go to Guatemala. And then possibly some days will be in a more remote area. The internet might not be stable. So please stay tuned. We will send out emails and announcements about upcoming classes. For sure, this Saturday. Well, nothing is sure, you know. King Yama might say, hey, for sure, I'm going to mess up your plan. You know, if King Yama doesn't, you know, decide to mess up my plan, this Saturday, we will have class. Yeah. Next Tuesday, I'm pretty sure we won't have class because that's my travel day, next Tuesday. Now, next Saturday, possible or not, it will depend on internet strength. I will let you know. For those of you who are in Guatemala, no, you did not miss some news. No, I'm not doing any programs. Still, you know, with COVID and everything. But I just have some meetings I have to do in Guatemala. So if you're in Guatemala, then probably we'll get a chance to meet over lunch or something like that, or coffee or something like that. So I look forward to meeting you. But no, it's not some retreat that has been planned and you did not hear about it or someone kept a secret from you. But I do look forward to seeing some of you if you are in Guatemala. Also, another, then a slight secret is, of course, I've been busy setting up the new center. We're moving Urban Dharma. So by this New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the basic setup of the new space will be finished. Then I am running away from all the other work that needs to be done. So that's why I am going to be in Guatemala, so that people in Asheville cannot reach me. So all of you, please continue to be vigilant. Take all the steps that you can to protect yourself and to protect others. I know some of you have unsure feelings about the vaccine. Whatever your feelings, please do the maximum that you feel you can do to protect yourself and others. Myself, I have taken all 3 vaccines, and 4, 5, 6, 7, I already sign up whenever it's going to happen. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. I'm not trying to change your mind. Whatever your mind is on this, please do take care. This is precious human life. We have a lot of dharma to actualize, to purify afflictive emotions. So please take precautions, take care of yourself, take care of others. But at the same time, taking precautions, there's a fine line between taking precautions and living in fear. There's also a fine line between not living in fear and being stupid. So please look at those fine lines, carefully. So as the Muslim saying goes, trust God, but tie your camel, otherwise your camel will wander off. Or we will say, or I can say, trust karma, but wear your seatbelt, Yes, driving is one of the most dangerous things that you can do, actually. More than anything else that we do, driving, for those of us who drive, is actually very dangerous, statistically. But still, if you live your life by saying, oh, driving is dangerous, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to lock myself in the house. If you lock yourself in the house and work on overcoming 8 worldly concerns, very good. But if you lock yourself in the house because you fear, because driving is very dangerous, and then you don't want to wear a seatbelt, then I think, that's not a wise, it's a skillful way to live our lives. So think about that. Yeah, so see you maybe this Friday, maybe in the new year. So it's all maybe. So that's also Buddha's teachings, you know. But hope to see you. Changjung Sem Chorim Poche Ma Ge Ba Nam Ge Gyu Je Ge Ba Nyam Ba Me Ba Yang Go Ne Gong Du Sure. Okay, bye bye, ta-ta.
Gracias, doctor Lee.
Gracias.
Gracias, doctor Lee.
Dios, doctor Lai, gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Feliz año. Hola.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Dr. Lai. Happy New
Thank
Year.
you, Dr. Lai.
Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Thank you.